Stand by for action.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What a tight loop is forming there.
A very, very good evening to you and welcome along to the fastest aviation show on YouTube with my good self, Stu Bear. And coming up tonight, it's a Midland Air Festival special. And to start things off, look at this. We have this Douglas R4D Skytrain. Sign up, ready for duty for the next 60 minutes. Enjoy the show.
Back in December 1935, which was actually the 32nd anniversary of the first commercial to provide United Airlines with a wider aircraft fitted with sleeper berths for US transcontinental flights. It was originally known as the DST, the Douglas Sleeper Transport. Two Pratt & Whitney R1830 or 1820 engines, Wrights, basically in dense areas of jungle like in New Guinea. Now, this aircraft is owned and maintained by the Commemorative Air Force in the United States. Built in 1944, and this aircraft is named Ready for Duty. Initially assigned to the Naval Air Transport Service, then the Confederate Air Force Dallas Fort Worth Wing. Beautifully restored and maintained, flown across the Atlantic. This is part of the Victory Tour, a 12,000-mile journey, a significant commemorative mission marking the anniversary of VE Day. Grey over insignia white. It's a commemorative Air Force's aim to inspire people, honour people and educate people.
Hi, I'm Helen Tempest and I'm a former wing walker but commentator for the Midlands Air Festival here at Ragley Hall. So we're here today with Airshow World and Stu Bear.
Well, you can hear the voices in the background and now you get to know what they look like. There's the brilliant Helen Tempest. But coming up right now, it's non-stop action all the way. And if you got up very early in the morning last Saturday and you was at the Midlands Air Festival, you were in for a treat. It was a windy weekend, but we did get to fly. Look at this. The fantastic shapes of those balloons down at the Midlands Air Festival. So if you're into hot air ballooning, you certainly have to get up very, very early in the morning. Just look at that. Isn't that absolutely brilliant? It's great to see all the messages coming into the chat room today. So thank you very, very much. Good to see you all. And I just know that Adu is going to love the show tonight. We've got lots of helicopters and a very special helicopter coming up a little bit later.
My name's Rich Goodwin and I fly the Muscle biplane, and you're watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
You bet your bottom dollar, and here he is right now flying that absolutely fantastic J-Pits from last weekend.
incredible climb performance. At the top there, 3 snap rolls. All up in this performance, there are well over 84 different manoeuvres that he performs. Look at that, just standing, hovering. Definitely hear the jets on there. Just effortless vertical maneuvers.
And if you do a little bit of searching on the internet, you will find Rich Goodwin's actual display taken from the literally taken from the wing.
Absolutely amazing.
Definitely keep those hearts going in the chat rooms. Great to see everybody saying hi very quickly to Tina York, Mark Riches, Weber Webster, Christina, Gary Inge. Also we have, I didn't hear no bell. Also hi to Brad and Jilly and Peter. Yes, that's not me saying yes. Normally most people say to me is no, not yes.
So the team are sponsored by Aerobytes, a world-leading provider of automated adaptive flight data monitoring and flight quality assurance. That basically means they make flying safer more efficient.
Well, Edward James, I think you could call this a Pits Extra Special. It's the J Pits with Rich Goodwin.
All that smoke is all it's like the equivalent of baby oil being poured to push through the exhaust system, so it's very economic.
And coming up tonight, we have some amazing pilots coming up for you. But right now, here's an amazing person. He's got a special word for us. So it's
Hi,
my good friend.
John Swain, event organiser for Midland Air Festival. You're watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
You better believe it. There he is, the one and only John Swain. And right now, here are the one and the only. It's three of them. It's the Lancaster and two Spitfires. Keeping the spirit alive, the Battle Britain Memorial Flight.
Converted squadrons can.
Well, you saw him just a couple of seconds ago, and he's in the chat room right now. It is the one and only John Swain. Hiya, John.
Absolutely is a national treasure. Just look at it coming over the trees.
Reminiscent of so many Robert Taylor paintings.
Spending the whole year in celebration of the 85th anniversary of the Battle of Britain, and there'll be celebration events and commemorative events taking place across the country throughout the year.
Nice tail chase here by the two Spitfires. As Helen pointed out yesterday, one with the traditional elliptical wing and one with the clipped wings. Curiously, both look like bubble canopy version.
Well, Marcus Campfield is certainly enjoying the show tonight. He's just put a donation of, well, you can see what it is. Thank you so much. What a man. You're a superstar. Thank you so much. It certainly helps towards the cost of going to these air shows, so thank you. Talking of which, we've got an air show coming up again this weekend. But let's go quiet. Hear the sound of the Merlins.
Definitely see the clear difference between the wings. So what was the rationale behind for clipping the wings on the lead aircraft?
No operations or other operations. Second aircraft flying here in the UK, being rebuilt to airworthy condition now. Of course, it's been used for taxiing, this being Just Jane. The Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Happy birthday to the Lancaster.
PO tour. Isn't that nice, hey? Airshow World, Friday night, the great meeting place it's gotta be.
As they fly past, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they can see you. Give them a big wave from Midland Air Festival.
And just look at that backdrop.
Spitfire today flown by Squadron Leader Giles Croft.
If you didn't make it to the Midland Air Festival this year, make sure you go next year. It's fabulous.
Hello everyone, it's me, Felix Bardner. Just landed here at Midland Airfield, putting out a nice air show with my Bo 105 helicopter. Did some aerobatics here. You probably also remember me from my jump from space back in 2012. I was the first human breaking the speed of sound in free fall. But most importantly, you are watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
And let me tell you, one of the nicest guys. Look at that! Actually jumping from space. And we're going to find out a little bit more about that just a little bit later. You probably remember seeing it, as he said, on TV. I watched it live. I think it was 2012. But this is Felix Bardner right now, flying a helicopter like you will not believe. Enjoy this.
Logic and reason. Really waiting for this one. It's so exciting. And there he goes.
So after tonight's show, I certainly recommend doing a search, and I'm sure you will find it on YouTube or somewhere, and just watch what he did. See the full version of when he went up into space in a balloon. He'll tell us more about it just a little later in the show. Well, Christina, it's my pleasure, and it's wonderful to know that you watch the shows right here on Airshow World. As you know, we have to be a little bit careful with the copyrighted music, so excuse if I do talk a couple of times over the little bit of music that we've got in the background. But let's get back to the sound of this brilliant helicopter. So then, Adu, what do you think to this bit of flying in this Bo 105? Really is quite amazing what Felix is actually doing in this helicopter. It's hard enough to do that. Yes, it is a real helicopter. It is not a model or anything like that. It is for real. know they say Red Bull gives you wings, but that is just absolutely crazy. And to see it for real, actually there, breathtaking, totally.
I think you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, that a helicopter really shouldn't be allowed to do all these things. This is extraordinary flying.
All of this made possible by the then revolutionary in-force rotor system developed by Lockheed engineer Eric Culver. The helicopter uses a titanium rotor head and 4 reinforced glass fibre composite blades, and that provides unbelievable flexibility to the rotor. It also lessens the necessity for a whole lot of things, hinges, lead, land, dampers. Boys and girls, put your hands together, do a huge Midland Air Festival wave.
Definitely. Anybody watching this right now, give it a round of applause because he is brilliant. Felix Bardner.
And he's so quiet.
You were all aware a few years ago that iconic image of a man in a spacesuit standing on a ledge, looking at the curvature of the Earth, about to jump out of a balloon at the edge of space. That man was Felix Bardner. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you today, Mr. Felix Bardner.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
So my first question, and I think it's the one on most people's minds, is what the hell made you decide that you're going to jump out of a balloon at the edge of space?
Well, you know, I started skydiving when I was 16 years old, out of a childhood dream, and when you're in the sport for so long, you want to push the envelope a little bit. And after so many years doing base jumps all over the world, I ended up in jumping to the edge of space because I always wanted to fall faster than anyone else, breaking the speed of sound in free fall. And in 2006 we started. We talked to Joe Kittinger, that's the guy back in the 60s who almost broke the speed of sound with only 33 skydives. That's not a lot, you know. So this is the real pioneer. Then we spent 5 years developing a capsule, made our own parachutes, our own pressure suit, did a couple of test jumps from a 70,000 feet, from a 90,000 feet, and then we went for the big one.
And what was the final altitude that you jumped from?
139,000 feet.
Can you believe it? Fantastic. There's the brilliant Mark Lockers. There we go. Interviewing the one and only Felix Bardner. Do a search on YouTube and you've got to see that
My name is
video.
Squadron Gray Musket. I am Red 10 with the Royal Air Force Aerobatics Team, the Red Arrows. You are watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
And from the Sunday of the Midland Air Festival, they managed to start off with their full display. Just watch this.
He's a former Typhoon pilot, and he was also in Tucano qualified as flying instructor when he flew the Tucano as a display pilot in 2012. Reds 8 and 9 now move left and right, coming in from the right in 9 arrows. The smoke comes on.
Quick mention to Maria Lane watching the show tonight.
To the left-hand side of that centre stand is Red 3, Flight 10, Andrew McKean. Coming back to the UK, and he is the first pilot to join the Red Arrows from the new 5th generation F85B Lightning II, where he flew with 6 Rolls based at RMR in Norfolk. There are 11 pilots in the team. As I said, we covered Red 11, myself, Red 10, 4 torpedoes, your 4 pilots, 4 qualified flying instructor on the whole Team Mark II, and this is my 4th and final year with the Red Arrows. The team now, Red 2 and 3, move up with the rest of the team forming a delta shape at the rear, and the 20th anniversary of the RAF Typhoon display team. As a tribute, it is no mistake the shape of Typhoon. Roll goes, Red 8 rolls around the formation, followed by Red 9 smoking the red and the blue. Watch for the caution as Red 1 brings the team down the line. Sickening trail on Red 1 is Red 5. That's Flight Attendant
And coming up right now on Airshow World, it's that time of the show to find out what some of the Airshow World followers have been doing. And a certain young lady, well, she takes stunning photographs, and here she is, it's our one and only Elaine. Of course, from the Midland Air Festival, including Rupert the Bear. map, and there's Jesus. And there she is herself. That's our fantastic Elaine, taking those beautiful photographs, and she's got a lot more. We will show them on another show. But coming up right now, Mark Webster mentioned this just a little bit earlier from East Midlands Airport, right next to where I am right now. It is the RollsRoyce Spitfire. And just listen to the Griffin engine.
RAF Goodwin in Lancashire. It was actually operated by a private company, Short Brothers.
And a huge big thank you to our very own UHN 100 for that unbelievable donation you've just sent across via the PayPal. Wow.
And it was then transferred.
You are absolutely fantastic, and thank you so much.
The Spitfire first flew in 1936, went into service in 1938, and through the succession of these Mark 19s, the aircraft being transferred over to the nascent historic aircraft club, and was used in every model subsequent to Mark 11. Interesting that the Mark 11 was basically a aircraft as well.
So the aircraft flown today by Jim Schofield. He has a very impressive CV and is currently the Rolls-Royce Chief Test Pilot, formerly a Harrier pilot and an F-35 test pilot, and the Empire Test Pilot School's Chief Instructor.
Well, very quickly, Gary Inge, happy birthday for next Wednesday.
He flies with the Shuttleworth team down at Old Warden. He's a vertical airspace test pilot. He's over 5,000 hours flying over 120 different types. And he's the first person to fly 100 years of fighters from the SE-5A up to the F-35. Also an all-round good guy. He named it Fighter. Breathed calm, a quickening heart, a shoot upon the shoulders warm, and hands in gloves prepared to start the waiting wizard's burning storm. Vibrations calm, the cockpit heats, as T's and P's and checks are done. We're ready as the wind to greet the fighter's wings against the sun. She climbs the path through towers of cloud. We burst into the southern blue and sing our hearts out to voices loud, an ode to Britain's battling blue. She loops and rolls round miles ahead, with perfect lines all men desire. But 'tis a sword within my hand, the finest blade baptized in fire.
Supersonic aircraft, they are doing the combat for World War II aircraft. It's very maneuverable. With a supersonic jet. That's the only way they'll work out how to do it.
I suppose it's testament to the fact that they kept the aircraft for so long that we have so many examples of the aircraft through a one time for us.
What an amazing sound. I hear that all the time.
Hi, I'm Peter Anderson, Ando, the commentator from Down Under here at Midland Air Festival at Ragley Hall, and you're watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
Well, we saw Helen Tempest, and there you have him, the man himself. Peter Anderson, what a great guy. Great commentator. And enjoy this right now, of course. It is the F86 Saber.
Beautiful plane form of the aircraft there.
And a very good evening to you as well there, Liam Ward.
Air Force in the Korean War, entering combat in December 1950. Incredible to think of the kill ratio achieved by this aircraft, with 40 of the 41 aces in Korea actually flying the F86. This aircraft remained in place right the way through the Cold War, and participated in quite a few combats post-Korea. You see that beautiful swept wing platform. Unfortunately, that is the same platform of the MiG-15 in Korea. The only difference you could really tell was when the MiG turned sideways, and it has a very large vertical fin and rudder. Carried a variety of armaments from the World War II 650 caliber machine guns. Some of them fitted with cannons. The Australian version, known as the Aviation Saber, was fitted with two 30mm Aden cannons, which in turn were developed from a German motor cannon of World War II. Was manufactured in Montreal in 1958 and was one of 1,800 built by the Canadians, and one of 655 fitted with the Avro Canada Arenda engine of 7,500 pound thrust. A huge increase in thrust over the original turbojet, about 5,700 pound thrust. Many World War II aces converted onto the jets and operated in Korea. Guys like McConnell, Jabara, and they were up against the best of the Russians. Particular aircraft also served as one of the 300 Canadair Sabres operated by the Luftwaffe at their pilot training school in Oldenburg. It was later converted for use as a target tug. So everything air-to-air combat needed at the time of the Korean War. This was owned at one stage by the renowned UK collector and former Royal Canadian Air Force pilot Ormond Hayden Bailey. It passed through a number of owners on both sides of the Atlantic before it was sold to Richard Sugden of Wilson, Wyoming, and it was completely rebuilt and finished in its current scheme. This Ruby is very well known on the UK display circuit, mostly flying his P-51 Mustang. decided to pick up the Saber. The Mustang formed part of the sales agreement. Fred's a former member of the French aerobatic team and has been a display pilot showing the Mustang, the CW and now displaying has over 17,000 hours command on the Boeing 777.
And talking of hearts there, Christina, let's see lots of hearts coming up in that chat room. There's nothing better than filling the chat with lots of hearts.
Which are not only used in Korea but in many different fights around the world. In the Taiwan Strait crisis in 1958, the Taiwanese F86s were clandestinely fitted with the brand new AIM-9 Sidewinder. This was used as a trial for the kit. Many soldiers subsequently
You make my day. Look at those hearts. Keep them going. Looking good. Just like this fantastic aircraft.
Higher powered engines, both the RollsRoyce Avon and of course the Avro Canada Arena. A real pilot's aircraft.
Well, the Midland Air Festival always comes up with something extra special, and this year, boy oh boy, did we see some fabulous flying. And coming up tonight at 8:10, we've got the full version of the Sunday display. So hey, if you want to join us for that tonight, 8:10, straight after tonight's show, you should get a link automatically, but just in case you don't, in the chat room, literally right now, there's a link to the premiere tonight. It is the Sunday show of the Midland Air Festival in full. Earlier in the week, you saw on Monday night, we did the Friday, and then Tuesday, we did this Saturday. So just to make things equal, tonight, the Sunday show. And as you can see, flying for you right now, it's one of our real favourites, and you'll see the fantastic backdrop of the Midland Air Festival. Of course, it's Sally B, the B-17. As we pull out, just look at that, isn't that beautiful? And I hope you don't mind me just talking over a little bit of the music. I know it's old, but we still get in trouble with copyright with music.
Eventually, over 12,700 built in 15 different variants built by Boeing, Douglas, the Vega division of Lockheed Aircraft, and served with over 15 air arms. However, it is its use as part of the 8th Air Force in bombing Europe and defeating Germany that this aircraft is most remembered. 4 1,200 horsepower Wright Cyclones, up to 13 50 caliber Browning machine guns, 4,500 pounds of bombs, or in a naval agent's configuration, 17,000 pounds. This is a B-17G, which next month it celebrates its 80th birthday. First to bomb Berlin, all the way through, right the way till the end of the war. Maximum effort by the Americans during the day. The Bomber Command operating principally at night. This is the aircraft that really did beat the Germans into submission.
And I think from that shot you just saw then, you can see it. If you go to the Midlands, you don't have to be right at the front because it's a natural amphitheatre with that fabulous hill. So it doesn't matter where you are, you get a fantastic view. And this is how I filmed it on the Sunday. I was right on top at the very back with everybody chatting away.
Along with their owner, they are celebrating 50 years of flying at air shows in the UK and Europe, which is an extraordinary achievement. And the remarkable feat of keeping a...
But the only problem was, sitting right at the very back there, I kept getting the smell of candy floss and, yep, I'm not supposed to have it, but I got a bucket of it.
With General Ira Eaker of Observer attacked the marshalling yards at Rouen. Pivots later went on to fly the B-29 Enola Gay that dropped the first atomic bomb at Hiroshima. This aircraft is vastly different to earlier
And there we go. That sort of shows you exactly what I was talking about. Unfortunately, I can't give you the smell of the candy floss.
Beautifully demonstrated there by Typhoon. It's interesting that some of the people that were involved with the B-17 included Gene Roddenberry of Star Trek fame, and also Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys, people who you would not think to be associated with aircraft of this nature. So get your cameras ready, ladies and gentlemen, because this will be the last pass by the B-17 Sally B.
And if you've loved this display, please do look up Sally B on the website and you can become a member of the Sally B Supporters Society.
And that is a tribute to smoke to all of those pilots, navigators, bomber aimers, all of the crew who lost their lives during the operation.
A real big favourite right here on Airshow World, Sally B. Well, what a busy time we're having at the moment. Last weekend we were at the Midland Air Festival. Earlier this week we were filming for the Travelling Bear with Stu Bear. And this weekend we're down at Cosford. And from Cosford last year, it's time to bring on the noise.
But the special colour scheme doesn't depict a number 29 Squadron Mosquito from the D-Day period. Rather, it represents a Hawker Typhoon of number 257 Squadron, one of the many RAF Hawker Typhoon units that took that outstanding fighter and ground attack aircraft into battle. in afterburner, and he'll now be accelerating the aircraft to somewhere in the region of 600 knots, coming down to his minimum display height of some 100 feet for a high-speed pass.
You can clearly see the water vapour spilling off the wings there as turbo pulls just about 9G in a very tight turn. Again, lots of these very characteristic barrel rolls, almost like a corkscrew. The aircraft literally corkscrewing across the sky. And of course he's wearing a full-body G-suit, and that combined with pressure breathing allows him to withstand these manoeuvres, many of which are being conducted at 9G, meaning his body weighs some 9 times normal. And setting up now for a slow roll down the display line. One of the harder manoeuvres to fly. It's very easy to just drop the second half a little bit too quick, but Turbo doing a...
He flew in a Tiger Moth with classic wings at Duxford when he was 17, and that really cemented his wish to become a pilot. Well, this is a display with very many changes of pace, and so out of that barrel roll he's now setting up for the slow speed high alpha, high angle of attack pass, just 120 knots on this run, of course aided significantly by the fully digital fly-by-wire control system.
Well, I've certainly got to tell you, everybody in the chat room, you're absolutely fantastic. Every Friday night I just love reading all of the fantastic messages.
And this is of course an aircraft that is on daily active service operations, whether maintaining quick reaction alert, the UK Air Defence capability from both Coningsby and RAF Lossiemouth, or around the world, notably in the Middle East.
Hello, my name is Matt Allwright from The One Show and Morning Live, Watchdog, Road Traders, all that stuff. And you're watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
And it's back to the Midlands Air Festival from last Friday night. Now on the Friday evenings at the Midlands Air Festival, they have something very, very special. And just look at that, the 2 Michelin men. And throughout the day, well in fact throughout most of the weekend, they had quite strong winds, but as luck would have it, on the Friday evening the wind died down and we had a few balloons going up. But it wasn't just that. As it starts to get dusk, we have these models going through with a few fireworks trying to get them, and then aircraft with lots of LED lights. Not just that, you will see lots of streamers coming off them. Shall we call them fireworks? You will see that in just a moment. Also, Chris Burkitt will be coming up from the Global Stars fame. He'll be doing his solo display with some fabulous streamers coming off. And just look at that glider. Isn't that wonderful? It's a powered glider. But at least that's what they tell me. And here he is right now. One of the big favourites. As I said, one of the members of the Global Stars. Here he is. Here's Chris Burkitt in his Extra 300. And every year, this particular air show, it gets bigger and better every time. So if you missed it this year, hold your hands out. Slap wrists. If you missed it, seriously, as soon as the tickets go on sale, and I believe they normally go on sale around about July, August, something like that, at a very special, super cheap special price. I recommend it. And look at this. This is the icing on the cake. With some fantastic drone footage as well from my very good friend Gareth. This is the part of the show on a Friday night at the Midlands Air Festival that they call the Night Fire, where they light those fantastic balloons up, literally looking like light bulbs switching on and off. And just look at the crowd, and look at that. The crowd are all holding up their phones and taking part, doing their part to make the show extra special. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? A big thank you to Gareth. I really appreciate that bit of drone footage. And I tell you what, he's a superstar doing that at night. And to finish the night off, it goes right the way through till about 11 o'clock. They have this incredible firework display. So are you tempted for next year? If you missed it this year, don't miss it next year. The Midlands Air Festival. And we've got more coming up at 8:10 this evening. So join us for that. We've got the Sunday show from the Midlands Air Festival. And you've been watching the fastest aviation show on YouTube with my very good self, Stu Bear, for the last 60 minutes. Friday nights. Make sure you watch Air Show World. Certainly hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. As I said, we've got more coming up for you in around about, well, actually at exactly 8:10. And that's in, well, believe it or not, that's in 10 minutes from now. Just before I do leave you tonight, want to say hi to a few very, very special people. And top of the list, my main man is in the chat room right now. Of course, that's the one and only John Swain. And he's the event organizer down there at the Midlands Air Festival. And he does a fantastic job. And boy, oh boy, did he certainly look after Stu Bear. That's me, by the way. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. And boy, we had a fantastic time time on the Saturday night. I really felt a bit emotional about it, to be honest, with everybody there. You were just all wonderful. Also, a big thank you to Steve SRH. Also, a very big special to mention to Elaine for those brilliant photographs we saw a little bit earlier. And also to John Swain's wife, that's Caroline. Also to Emma, Nigel and Sarah and everybody else at the Midlands Air Festival. We had a fantastic weekend. And do you know what? I'm looking forward to next year already. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching the fastest aviation show on YouTube. I'm going to talk quickly because, hey, we're totally out of time. I'll see you in just 8 minutes from now on that premiere. It's coming up. And just before I do go, by the way, you got 15 seconds to put a last message into the chat room. There it is. The link coming up for you right now. That will take you to tonight's premiere. But from my good self, it's of course Stu Bear giving you a big wave. Thank you for watching, and we're at Cosford this weekend. Look out. Oh, by the way, notice we've got the hat on as well. See you in around about 7 minutes from now. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend. From Stu Bear and everybody else, have a great time. Thank you, and good night.